Hey everybody, it's John with National Sports Entertainment, and I just wanted to go into the Tulane game started. If you guys like some live action, I have a feeling Tulane's going to win this game just because I don't think they're going to have UCF win and then leave. I feel like that kind of buries the conference, but I could be wrong. But I was looking at that game. That's not one I love, but if you wanted to play a college game, I do like Tulane. I haven't checked the score yet, but I wanted to go into this game here. So this is an interesting one. I'm actually curious as to what the committee does, because my theory was there's really no conceivable way to flip TCU here without it being pretty blatant. And even with this loss, we had TCU winning. We had USC in leg 1, TCU leg 2, and clips. I went over this in my last video with the Mavs and the clips. That's basically a standing sequence because they're so bad against the spread. In the Clippers' case, they're so bad on the over that they're always going to be my standing third leg or fourth leg. This is from yesterday. We closed that out. But yeah, so my point is I am curious what the committee does here, because if they put Alabama in, obviously it's going to create controversy. And if TCU gets in, I think it's going to create controversy now. So I feel like it's just weird the way they, obviously the game, you get to watch the game and see it was staged, but just the way they did it, I feel like now they just painted themselves into an unnecessary corner. So I'm really curious. Once they announce the official seeding, then I think we'll know exactly what's going to happen. But it is interesting. So, okay, we got the clips over. That just started, so you can get that in on live. We got the Mavs earlier. Like I said, Brunson's not going to beat Luka in his first game against him. That's one of those where it looked like a trap game, but I can kind of see through it. This one, I absolutely love Charlotte. I think just because they're Milwaukee, people are going to be taking them. They're resting all their starters. And you might say, oh, well, people are going to fade them. Well, they're playing the Hornets. So, like, who are as bad as the Milwaukee might seem without their starters, I still think that people are going to take them over the Hornets. And also, I think people don't expect the Hornets to get 2 upsets in a row. And it's technically an upset. And I don't think people expect the Bucks to lose 2 in a row. So I think I like the Hornets in this game. This one's interesting because the Magic just played a game where they did not hit the spread. They missed about half a point. I think the Raptors do bounce back and win, but I think the Magic cover the spread here. I think the people are looking at the Raptors at home, and like I said, I don't think people are laying 11 points a lot. But when I think in a lot of cases, like I said, a team like the Magic on the road here, Toronto at home after a loss, I think the Raptors to cover makes sense. On this one, I was looking at this one, and honestly, I wasn't even going to play it, just because this is another one where right after looking really good against the Grizzlies, this is when people are going to take the Wolves, and they would look bad generally. That being said, like I said, a couple times this year, it has looked like the Wolves have been a trap where it's like, oh, they should be bigger favorites, and they haven't been. And because Oklahoma City is so good against the spread, I actually do like the Wolves to cover here again. So I like the Wolves here. Now, obviously, the later games are usually my favorites just because the Warriors, this division seems to have the most narratives. So the Warriors have covered a couple in a row at home. And, I think they do it again. I really think they want to establish that this team is really, really good at home. And they're still one of the best teams. And their struggles are going to be on the road. And I think later in the season. But I think they want people on the Warriors. So I like them. And the last one here is Blazers Jazz, and I love the Blazers. I think the public is just looking at these teams, looking at the records. They don't understand how good the Blazers are. And it's a perfect game to show them off. Now you do see there's some injuries, but they still have most of their role players. They still have Ant. They still have Grant's going to be playing. Nurk's good. I'm not sure about Dame. I think he's still out. But they should have most of their guys. And if you look at it against the spread, both are good. But I think more are going to be on Utah in this game, just on the money line. Probably not the spread, but the money line, which will probably be more money on the money line than the spread. So even if a few more are taking the late Blazers with the points, I think more money in general will be on Utah. So I think it makes sense that the Blazers probably win this game. But of course, I always bet money line, so I like them to cover. So nothing crazy, but just to recap, live again, the Clippers over is only 1. You can get in on that if the line was 227. So try and get it as close to there as you can. If it's lower, obviously that's better. But I do like the Hornets to cover. I do like the Magic to cover this time. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Magic. I just want to make sure they were the ones getting the 11. And I like the Wolves, despite it looking like a trap. I really do think the Wolves cover. I do think the Warriors cover, and I do think that the Blazers cover. And yeah, this one, like I said, I was conflicted on because at first I was thinking, again, there's not a lot of teams you're going to lie 11 points on. So it had me thinking the Raptors and that more people were going to take the Magic with the 11. But just when I look at the against the spreads, when I look at a few other things, I do think that the Magic wind up covering this spread. So some of them, like I said, I look at kind of in live time. So it's I have to look at it for a good second, but I do think the Magic cover. I think even if money's on the Raptors, I think a minus 11 is probably going to be about even because the Magic are so bad. But as you can see, for the most part, I have mostly the home teams covering. We did have the Mavs earlier. This one we stayed away from the cover. With the Clips, we just went over because the Clips are only 30% on the over this year. And yeah, Hornets is one. I think that's a steal. I think so many are going to be on the Bucks just because they're the Bucks. You know, Magic I like, not as much, but I do like the Magic to cover. And then the other, we got the Warriors and Wolves both covering at home. Wolves seems trappish, but not really. The Thunder have been good this year. And then the Blazers, I do have it to cover. And if I was going to take an upset, straight up upset, I'd go with the Blazers as well. I think you're getting pretty good value for an upset there. So that's what I have. And as I said, I haven't checked it. But if you want to get in on a live game, maybe you'll get good odds. I like now they got the ball, so you might have the same odds. But yeah, Tulane I think makes more sense for them to win than them to bury the division. UCF buried the division and leave the conference. So I think it makes more sense for Tulane to win that game. UCF can be fine in the next conference without having to win this game. So that's just some live picks, things I noticed. And I'll be going into, obviously, more of the games. I know we have more title games. I will say, most of them are in action. So the Michigan game I really didn't pay much attention to. Same with these games I consider irrelevant. It doesn't matter if they lose. They're not getting flipped out. So that was the reason I didn't play those games. So I have more faith in, like I said, Tulane I don't love, but for the reason I listed, I think it wins. But let me get this out so you guys can get on the two live games going on, and then for all the other ones, you'll have plenty of time to pick whoever, you want. You can pick me or fade me. But we've been doing good. We've been closing out sequences. Clippers over helps a lot if that goes through, and then, like I said, that's the reason we do pick this way, because we know games like TCU, a lot of them are not going to go our way. So we do... You have to do our best just to make sure that plus 4.5. We're just being very smart with money, man. I've had so many people tell me like, "Oh man, no disrespect, I like your picks, but it's your money management system that's helping me more," and that's fine. I mean, that's the reason I created this type of system, because we don't have to be perfect every day. But to everyone that's been doing well with me, I'm glad. Especially basketball, we've been killing it, and in general because of the legs, we've been killing it. But I hope you guys do well, and I think we have another strong basketball night. I think we went 7-2 yesterday, and we're 1-0 today. I think we're going to finish another 7-1, something like that, just because I think we're over a lot of these teams. So take care, everybody, and happy earnings.